All right. So we're gonna go over using these actually, like the principles of training with these for you guys too.
I've actually used these for the fence before, okay? And we would practice just, you can just roll up a magazine like this. I would just keep a couple rubber bands on me. And if I thought I was going to have a problem, I would have one of these in my pocket, particularly if it was in an area where the police were aggressive and I was always worried about getting stopped for having a knife. So the thing that no untrained person does, that the trained guys will like just butcher you with the first time you come into a knife fighting club, is going to be the pronated attack to the eye, to the ear, to the neck. And another thing, you're playing the bad guy, or if you're doing this throat protection, this works against machetes, even dull machetes. So if you have a hat and you've got this thing in your back pocket, the first thing you do, if you suspect the other person has an edged weapon, or if they have any type of hidden hand, instead of stepping forward like a meathead in a ring or a cage, okay, you step backwards, okay. Your kills, if he's got a knife, it's here and it's here. He can switch step and still get you from here. So you have this ready against the knife, and unless he's got a belly knife, the seams and everything are very helpful. Your first step is back, and then your next step is over and to the outside of his foot, and then you can do a weak side pivot to here. And you're looking for an opportunity to run. If you find out he does have a knife, people using knives to attack don't tend to do very well in pursuit. If it turns out he's just trying to punch you, or he's got a blunt weapon, then you want to switch this over to here to make sure you don't get knocked out and attack his eyes. Okay. And we've had, with guys wearing these, and with these, we've had dozens of KOs. Yeah. Guys knocked out. I remember Corey Bracken knocking me out when I won it. Of course, he's a big guy. Because essentially what happens when this fails, this way or this way, you're eating a ridge hand or you're eating a hammer fist. I had this crippled for 6 weeks one time when Chuck Getz was going this way, and he was a lefty and I was a righty, and I came up for this stab and he came down and he hit me here. I could not open my hand. He had to pry, this was severely sprained, he had to pry my hand off of my paper knife. So that was pretty ugly. And if all you have is the hat to the eyes, and this has more range than this.
True.
Even this, you have more range by a couple inches than that. So if you're lucky enough to have longer arms than the guy that has the knife, then this is something that you can use while you're looking for your escape. And the move that I like the best, if I'm just going hat and hand, if he's coming forward, if he's doing the classic put him down, take him out, prison thing, is to do this and then to a weak side pivot over to here. I can't do strong side pivots anymore anyhow because this leg's ruined. But the hat, we had decent success. The hoodie, the jacket in the hand is far superior. When you got a jacket and you start attacking the eyes, you can whip the guy's eyes while he's still 2 steps from stabbing you. So
your hat, instead of just throwing the hat in the guy's face, you could whip it like a jab.
Yeah. You can whip this out, and you're always trying to keep your heart back and be mindful of this.
Like this hat too.
Oh. So you could do two, and really the jackets would, for the most part, when I was sparring with the operator, I would throw in different stuff. Sometimes I would just pick up a boxing catalog, roll it up, and take my jacket. And then he hated that. He had a hell of a time getting to me with the knife when we were doing that. So improvised weapons work very good against the knife, and the best improvised weapon against the knife is a chair.
Oh yeah, chair, long way.
Folding chair, bar stool, anything you think lion tamer, but with 2 hands.
Right.
And you can turn it around and poleaxe them with it once you've taken care of it.
Yeah, I like the idea of whipping the hat as taking your hat off and whipping it into people.
And the utility of the stab, if you've only got a pen, if you've only got a flashlight, and if it's a real nasty situation, you have something like this, and you could even get it behind the neck and use it for control. If it turns out he doesn't have a blade and he was just trying to grab you or clock you, then you don't have to stab with this. You could use this for control and use it behind the neck. So I really like this type of stuff. Once you've done hundreds, thousands of rounds of knife dueling, when we then go to scenarios and one guy's got a rolled up magazine or a hand stick and the other guy's got a knife, the guy with a knife, it usually comes down to who was better knife to knife.
Right.
You know, when give Charles a rolled up magazine and give me the knife, and he was just knocking me out. He gave me 3 concussions in 1 week one time. So.
And ironically, you know, I like to cover magazines on here. Yeah, a rolled up magazine in your hand, you can knock somebody the fuck out, no lie.
And you could take it into a courtroom.
Yeah, like, oh, you hateful person with your hat and your magazine.
But you know, the problem is when you go to a court, like the Northeast District Court, all the guy's friends are waiting outside.
Yeah.
Okay, so, you know, you would want to take something into a courtroom. So the guys that, because I would go as a witness. I didn't go like on trial or anything, but I took a rolled up magazine to the Northeastern District courtroom because I was terrified of all the guys that hung out around there, because bad people tend to hang out around courtrooms.
Yeah, that's that people don't realize that in different courts and cities, there's like it goes to show you the symbiosis.
I was on a jury in a murder trial at the Central Court down in Baltimore City. And they give you no protection. You're on the jury. Anybody can walk into the room and see who's on the jury. And I'm like, you know, is one of this dude's friends going to follow me to the bus stop?
Imagine, like, jury duty in Baltimore. It's like, what are you trying to kill me? Shit. Anyway, cool, man. This is interesting. I like to see the things, particularly with the hat. I was curious about. But like I said, you guys, I mean, eventually you want to graduate to something like that. But I mean, listen, I mean, you could grab these things.
Costs nothing.
It costs nothing, and you can start, you know,
and you can
messing
go
around
back and forth. And you know what? The bad guy in the scenario, you can practice with this or with this. You can practice with your icebreaker flashlight.
Yeah.
We're going to do all of these things on this training cycle, just in case you're sitting in your car and you can't get to your weapon. And you've just got an ice scraper or something like that. I'll put an ice scraper in his hand, and I'll do the paper knife, and he'll have the goggles on. I'll have this one.
Yeah, like I said, you might as well fight back.
Well, and the problem with the soft things, we've done that before.
The pipe insulation.
Is people don't know when they're getting stabbed. They have you know, once you get your rib cracked with this thing, it starts permitting you to range. You know, of course, you can't make any money training people with anything that could possibly hurt. Yeah. Because this is America.
Oh.
You know, but we did find out that people practice with soft blunts, anything that reflects, rubber knife, pipe insulation, the Arnis knives and things that even Cold Steel made. Those people were no good with hard blunts because their time and measure had been ruined by getting stabbed with something soft and not knowing it.
Yeah, that's part of the
problem.
problem.
And then it's like playing Army when you're a kid. I got you, and you got to stop and argue.
I
didn't feel anything.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, with something hard, you can feel it tug your shirt. You know, and we'll have that. You know, the guy with a loose shirt's got a big advantage because the other guy's messed up on his time and measure.
Yeah, time and measure. It's like the old master said. So, all right, cool, man. That was great. Thank you. Paper knives.